Loud. Okay. Welcome to the Peninsula Area Public Access Board meeting for November 8th, 2022. It's been almost a year now that we've been, although half of the year we didn't meet, so that's all right. Yeah, lots of things have happened in the last week or two, actually. Sorry, I was on vacation, so I missed the last meeting and really didn't have a chance to figure out what to do otherwise. But I don't think any of us really it made a difference, because really most of the things that have happened lately haven't happened in this in the last like 3 weeks. So okay, we'll start with call to order. I see myself, Silas Cruz, Anthony Martin, Charlie, and then we have a member of the public, Brendan Meyer. So, and not here, but possibly coming is Maxwell, and Darian will not be coming, and we'll talk about that later in the meeting. I'll share the agenda here. Did everybody, sorry, I sent out the minutes. Did everybody get a chance to see them? Sorry, I forgot to attach them. But is everybody up to speed on that? Okay. Share agenda. There we go. Okay. So let's adopt the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda from somebody?
Yeah, this is Charlie. So moved to adopt the agenda.
All right. I second that. And then anyone not in favor? No, how do I do this? It's been a while. What's it called?
Unanimous consent.
Yes, thank you.
I was waiting for the deputy mayor to respond.
We'll be using unanimous consent to move that forward. If anyone is opposed, let us know. Not hearing anything. Okay, that has been adopted. And then the minutes from 9/13, I sent those out. Is there any questions on that?
No, unless anyone has questions, I move to adopt the minutes.
Okay, I'll second that. Using unanimous consent. If anyone's opposed, let us know. Okay, those minutes are approved. Community comments. Brandon, do you have anything?
Yeah, I would like to make a quick comment, and I know you mentioned this at the beginning of the meeting, how like you've only met like half the year or whatever, but I just want to really congratulate you guys and say how proud I am that you guys have moved forward in this last half year that you've been active or holding meetings more than the prior 2 years of Peninsula Area Public Access. So I want to thank you guys and congratulate you guys on that. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brendan. It does actually feel like I like had a lot of irons in the fire, and it felt like nothing was going forward. And after we got the lefties, I don't know, something like just cascaded and things opened up and more people were interested. And so I don't know if they actually affected each other or if it's a matter of time. So, but yeah, thanks. I agree. Okay. We'll go down to number 6, item number 6, chair report. I have a ton of things to talk about, but the only thing I'll probably just talk about in this is currently because of the storm on Friday, there was it sounds like all our phone, our internet, and our TV are all knocked out, and we're not getting anything. So our channels are dead at the moment. I'm not able to do anything with them, and I check every day to see if anything has changed. I've stopped by and talked to Wave, and they basically said, "Yep, you're in an outage area. We don't know anything." So until something changes, that's going to be the status of our channel. Any other questions? Okay. Moving to number 7, treasurer report. Charlie, I'm sorry, I did not look at those, but sounds like everything looks good.
Yeah, unless anyone has any questions, as you can see, our activities are pretty boring. Just pay bills and mostly to the cable and to the city, and bills are up to date as soon. I just go pay them as soon as I get them, and Nothing out of the ordinary has been coming in the mailbox, so it seems like it's just been pretty boring treasury report.
One thing.
We did get our third check too, our last check for the quarter, so city's all up to date with their payments and our money, so we've got about 22,000 in the account.
Okay.
That's about it.
I'm gonna dig in and try to get the annual report busted out, hopefully by the end of the year. Yeah, it's just hard to like switch
thought-
gears and focus on getting back to the accountant. So
Didn't the accountant do that last year? You didn't do it, did you? Didn't you?
I handled all the details. I tracked down all the receipts. I basically kind of went through all the process, the whole process that they needed to get through it. There's like a bunch of different layers and things they have to go through. And right now we're hung up on me finding or somebody finding the receipt that shows our purchase of the new automation hardware and what it's for, and I have to explain it to her and stuff like that. So I just haven't gotten back to that. As you'll hear in the next couple items, things have been really crazy. So, okay, any other questions about finances? Okay, moving on to number 8, facilities. There is, can you guys see the whole agenda? I never know if it shows up fully. Okay. So to start, on Friday, there was there's a big storm and it blew off our skylight. One of our skylights, one of our many. Turns out we have, I don't know, 12, 15 skylights on the top of that building. And I just happened to stop by and there was like a big presence of people outside, and I was kind of checking on things. I went inside and realized that there was rain coming down into the middle of the building and the carpet was all soaked and craziness. And so I went outside and I found the skylight halfway down the bank behind the building, and I was able to pull it up myself very precariously, but thankfully it wasn't damaged, and I pulled it in the building. I talked to Charlie about it. We agreed that we would try to find somebody to help fix it, which I did on Monday. I found somebody that went up there, helped me get it up there. And then as we were putting it in, we had to like screw it back in, and did a little minor repair to it. We realized that like probably half the windows were not screwed in to the to their frames on the top of the building. So we went around and attached all the skylights. So that was interesting. But it worked out.
Shocking. It's shocking.
It took about 2 hours, and Charlie and I agreed to pay this person about $100 an hour to help us with that. And so we'll be getting an invoice soon to kind of pay for that. But
okay, so that should be coming to, I should keep an eye on the PO box pretty close for that.
Well, I imagine it'll be digital. I've asked him just to email me.
Okay, and I'll pay him right away.
Yeah,
that's cool. Just curiosity, who was it?
It's my neighbor. Actually, he does a lot of salvage work, architectural salvage work, and so he's like really good at like understanding old buildings and stuff. And so he had time to come out and work with me. And I've also talked to him a little bit about maybe entertaining the idea of putting some fencing up. So we can talk about that a little down here a little bit.
Hey, thanks for crawling up there, Cyrus.
Yeah, no problem. I had to call Arthur to figure out how to get out on the roof, because when I first tried, like the window it's hard. Like you have to really put some strength into it. And but yeah, no problem. I don't know. It just was like, it was a little bit of a panic moment and a despair moment. And but it had turned out we got it all fixed. I don't think anything was damaged. That roof up there is terrible. And I think that's one thing that down the road we need to probably look at, like having somebody professionally do it. I know that the previous iterations of the board did it and it was a DIY job, but it's not good. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that down the road. I don't want to do it now, but yeah, for the longevity of that building, it's probably something we should kind of explore. I I also ran into 4PA. They were doing a bunch of landscaping, or not landscaping. They were picking up all the trash, and they asked me to try to find out what's going on with the dumpster that's behind the building. And I called, and there's a lot of finger pointing from Solid Works to Public Works to Parks, and nobody knows whether it gets picked up weekly or whether you have to call in and get it picked up, which I've heard is what you're supposed to do. But that was previous to before things got transitioned to the city for taking care of solid waste. So
Yeah, it seems like that's what I heard too, Silas, that you have to call in.
yeah,
So
so
for them,
I did call in. I talked to somebody in solid waste who schedules all this stuff, and she took my information and basically was like, who are you with? Why are you calling me? And then said, well, I'll talk to a supervisor. Haven't heard anything else. So hopefully it's happening. I did ask 4PA if they knew anything about it. Joe said he didn't know. So I'll go back and check. I don't actually think it's our responsibility. But I know it's helpful, especially for 4PA, to have that emptied, because there's just so much trash there that shows up, especially since the cold snap. So sorry, I did these in reverse order. C was what I talked about first. A, I'll talk about next. There's a broken window down under the ramp, and I'm gonna hopefully tomorrow board that up. I took the measurements, and I just need to I'll go buy a piece of plywood and then expense that to Papa. So and then finally I found they have in the building, we have these lights, the tamper-proof lights. They're actually put up in the one bathroom. They don't need to be there. I think I'm just gonna take those off and put them on our lights outside. And because that's one of the issues. I drove by there at night and realized like everybody's just hiding out in the shadows on the building, and it's not good. So that's one of my goals. Maybe in the next week or two, try to find some time to do that. I don't think it's going to be very difficult. I think we have everything we need to do that. And then I'm also like strongly considering some kind of temporary fencing where we get chain link and attach it to the structure of the ramp, and then some kind of gate that gets in and out of the downstairs and the upstairs. I've approached 4PA, who was like kind of flirted with the idea, but then I think they're just overwhelmed with everything else. I have talked to the city, and they basically say, that's your building, we don't want anything to do with it. So until we actually want to do something, and they say, well, wait, here are all the steps. So I guess we'll have to come up with a plan and submit it, but I think we need to take some kind of action possibly, and it not be permanent, but it not be temporary that it gets destroyed. So temporary enough that it, anybody have any thoughts and questions about all those facility things?
Just if you would give me a buzz before you go down there, Silas, I'd be glad to meet you and give you a hand.
Okay.
I just never know when you're there. You
it's super random.
Yeah, just shoot me a text too. I'd be more than happy to come down if I'm available. Just get a chain text chat going, group chat or whatever, and just let me know. And if I'm available, I'll definitely come down there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's a lot to do. I mean, unless we pick up garbage. Like I'm reticent to like paint over the graffiti, because the graffiti just becomes a blank canvas for people. It's not like on the outside, so it's not super visible and distracting. Although like if anybody were to come use the studio, they would definitely see it, and it's kind of embarrassing, but it's also like, I don't know what to do. I mean, maybe putting up the fencing will change that a bit. We'll see if we really go through that with that. But
is it artistic at all?
Some of it is poetic too, but some of it is just downright gross. So
I'll take pictures and turn them into NFTs and sell them.
There you go. Maybe we could do that to support renovations of the building.
As far as the fencing, do you need me to write an email to Jim Lyerly, the city inspector, to see if if they have any problems with us working on that? fence?
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be great. I mean, we're gonna have to like, I don't think we could just put up that fencing without probably incurring some understanding of whether the city's okay with it. I don't want to
Yeah.
like get into this big thing where we have to submit plans and pull permits and
That's what I'm afraid of, yeah.
yeah, because if that's the case, then I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna let it continue to degrade.
or better to ask forgiveness and his permission, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
So,
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to hear from the city, like what are our options?
Okay.
And if they want us to go after that, then we need to find some way that we can work that into the budget, whether that's like we write a proposal to the city to help us and we execute it, or I don't know where the disconnect is here, but
Okay,
I definitely heard from 4PA saying that the city's not happy that we're not taking care of the building. Like,
hey, I don't want to say something because this is being recorded, but
yeah, I know.
Right, Brendan?
So anyway, that's just
Right.
where we're at with things. And I think too, I think the city is going to be excited to hear how much we're starting to infiltrate into the community and get more programming. So maybe that gets their attention. I don't know. At the end of the day, too, we don't need to be in that building.
Can you imagine the mess we'd have around town if 4PA wasn't cleaning things up?
Hey, you talked about them getting into the graffiti removal coverage thing. Do you know much about that?
I'm working with them tomorrow, so I'm gonna see what the progress is with that. I'll be working with Joe tomorrow.
Okay, I talked to him a little bit about
Yeah.
it, and sounds like there's a woman who's spearheading it, and so.
Yeah,
But
because on the website, they have it as one of the things they're working on where they can start working on cleaning graffiti for people. So
yeah, no, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll give you an update next meeting on how we make out with the lighting, and then definitely maybe we'll have some more movement on whether we should do fencing or not. So, programming, big leaps forwards here. We live streamed 2 of 3 League of Women Voters forums. We live streamed them and then we ran them twice a day, 3 days a week. So until Friday, and then unfortunately everything stopped. I was not able to find time to promote that, but I know the league promoted it, so it wasn't like a complete vacuum that they were playing. So that was exciting. That was really cool that we were able to I was able to interface with hold on. Maybe Maxwell's trying to get in. Sorry, hold on. Nope. Okay. I was able to interface with the library and the league as Papa, and I think they were all excited about what's going on. And some people are definitely getting it that not everybody has the internet, and public access TV is a way to reach a certain demographic here. And then I hear often that people are excited to come home and just watch the lefties on their TV rather than trying to stream it. So I feel like we're building a case for why this is still relevant. Public access is still relevant. So, or let's see, another big development is I had pitched to KSQM many months ago, probably in the spring, hey, let's put some cameras in your studio and record all these great interviews that you do with county politicians and community members. They're really set up to do something really cool. Gave them a whole proposal and a budget, and I just heard back a week ago that they are getting the equipment, and I'm gonna I volunteered to install it, and then we're working on a work plan for how they will create their own content, and then they will upload it to our servers, and we will play their stuff on a regular basis. So I think, and they especially have a demographic that would probably be really interested in watching this type of stuff on public access TV. So I think there's a real promising partnership here with them. And they are a community media station with a like a wide audience, and they're doing what I think Papa in the early days wanted to do. They have people coming in there, they train people, they have lots of volunteers, they're very active, they have a building. So I think it's cool. I will, oh boy. I will be excited to see what happens. Maxwell says he's not gonna be able to make it. He had a friend pass away. So
And I'm sorry, it says you're still not able to get much analytics off of viewership
from Astound.
of all the things that they do. But yeah, we don't have any way of being able to,
They just kind of laugh at me when I say, "Is there any way we can get something?" So
yeah, that would be a shame. That'd be really great to be able to show to those people in the city where, hi, here's that graph. Here's how
Yeah.
we're improving. Here's where we're moving. Here's how our viewership is increasing. And, show that able to access those and include to those people.
this is something I maybe can try to ask other peg stations here in Washington, like how they do this and what they do. I think it's worth maybe doing a little research into that, because there's got to be alternative ways to find out this data. So
Or just make up some really impressive numbers, like 90% increase.
my guess is a lot of people don't know what it is and don't watch it, but I know that people do. People have come up to me and said that. So,
But especially like going into K-Squim, because just about everybody who listens to the radio would prefer to see it on TV when you're doing the exact same content, but this way more people will turn to the other. So I'd really love to see how those numbers are affected. I think that would be huge.
Yeah, and I can put out another feeler and say, hey, we've been making some inroads in programming. Is there any way we can do this? So, okay.
Do a little research as well. I'll dig a little bit, see if maybe I can find the thing.
The BMX season, item C, the BMX season went really well for the Lincoln Hill or Lincoln Park BMX track, which is a city property run by a nonprofit. I just to refresh you guys, I helped them with a camera plan and a way to offer live viewership of the track on their race nights on Tuesday, and I think it went really well. Their season's over, so we won't be showing that going forward. But next season, they're excited. They're actually making some major changes to the track, and they're going to put in better infrastructure to support all the cameras and stuff on the track. So going forward, it sounds like it's a good partnership.
Some announcers would help too, that on that programming, because I got them to turn it on at the Elks on Tuesday nights, and
oh, cool.
If they had an announcer, it would be really kick-ass.
Wait, they do? Are you talking about BMX?
Yeah, I didn't hear any announcers.
They do have an announcer.
I didn't hear him on the live feed.
Were you watching on the TV or were you watching on the live feed, the YouTube?
I was watching on TV.
Oh, I can ask him. And I think
Okay.
it kind of depends on where they are in the evening. Sometimes if they're running test ride or whatever, I don't know all the terminology, but I think I definitely have heard them announcing for the races. So,
okay.
But I can ask. I'll ask what's going on. But yeah, I agree. And I know they want to up their game, and they talked about how they ended up being the 5th best track in the country when it comes to participation. And they had some pretty impressive stats for a small little community. And they said too, they're the only track that doesn't have a 1 million+ population that was in that ranking. So it's kind of cool. They're doing a lot of great things, and I know too that they're a strong partner. Sean and that nonprofit entity is a strong partner with Parks and Rec, and I think they lean on each other pretty heavily. So then
It was also possible the TV might have been muted in retrospect. Now thinking about it.
Well, I'm glad it's working, because there were a couple miscommunications for us, and they weren't sending us the feed, and I had it open, and so I'm glad you were there on a night that it was working. The lefties, we just had a new meeting talking about their program for next year. They're looking at hiring an intern to both be the voice, the play-by-play commentary, and they're also talking about getting an intern to run the the live feed. So big step forward from what they learned last year. And we would continue to have it on Papa. We'll see if we can continue to have it on our YouTube channel. I'm not as concerned about that. My main concern is that they can create quality content and complete with graphics. And Matt sent me a text. Matt, the owner, Matt Acker, sent me a text earlier and said that the league now is like requiring a whole bunch of stuff that they were able to achieve last summer with our help. And so he was really happy and excited that going forward, they're going to even be further ahead of the curve. So, in new business, I put it in new business, but I think it's best to talk about it here. The library just reached out to me tonight and said, hey, do you want to stream our parks series, speaker series that's going on? I was like, well, we talked about it months ago and you never got back to me. So we are going to replay that, and we're going to continue replaying that library content series. And then we are talking about having a specific slot in our programming, multiple slots in our programming for library content for Knowles. They create a lot of content, and I think I've finally broken through that, and they're excited, and they're one of the people who really gets it about. They have people who they deliver books to, they deliver media to, and they know that they have to be able to kind of meet people at different levels, and we offer a chance for them to do that. So let me just put that in here, library content. So that was exciting, and that's developing. And I think though by next meeting, hopefully we will know when their time is. We just had like, it was I kept pushing them, tell me like, when do you think your audience wants this? And they said, well, we don't know. When do you think? And I said, not you, I don't know. So anyway, we'll keep working on that, but I'm really excited because I think that will open more doors too. And I had a like random conversation just on a side note, two things actually, municipal meetings. One's for you, Anthony. One was I had a conversation with Sequim School District about running their meetings, and I think I started that conversation with them, and hopefully I can finish it, but it's a very complicated world there in the Sequim School District, so it takes some more I think some more back and forth till we get to that. Anthony, is there any chance that we could figure out like a work routine where city council meetings, Sequim City Council meetings are able to be uploaded to our server?
Last you and I were able to talk with the city manager, Matt Hewish. He definitely sounded in favor, wanting to see what all we needed to do. I have heard a little bit of caution from, I know another member of staff. I think that maybe let's schedule a time where we can just get those couple of stakeholders into a room and hash it out. Of course, we'll lay down, what I can leading up to it, but I think it's doable. I think it's very easy. I mean, I have the footage. It's just a matter of getting it over to you, but getting clearance.
Would you be okay if I send an email and CC'd you, if I sent an email to Matt and said, here's how we're doing it with the city of PA, and I'm pitching to other municipalities how we'd like to try to do this in the future, and just explain to him what it is and how it would work, and maybe that would help start the conversation if an active party from the outside is soliciting. Would that be okay?
I think that's fine. I think that'll definitely fall on favorable ears, and then I guess we can have other conversations internally about what those other barriers really are and how to break through those. I believe it's completely doable.
Okay, that sounds good. And I mean, currently too, like what I end up doing for City PA is I pull down their meeting off of YouTube and just post it as is. Like I don't change anything. I know that was some of the concern, and I don't know where that's coming from exactly, but that's not what we do. So, okay, well, I'll get that started. Yeah, Brendan, please ask away.
No, just curious, like even with the city of PA, if you can get them sort of on every municipality, like, because they do a recording as well, just to use that link to upload it would probably save you more time and everybody more time in the long run, and have that format to be like, this is the link, it's like a Dropbox, boom, 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 so yeah, that's just my comment there.
Yeah, it's not as easy as, well, it is kind of as easy as Dropbox, but let me start that process with the city of Sequim and see like if we can find a way to work, so then I can come back to the city of PA and be like, hey, this is how easy it is. Boom. Okay, I think Maxwell, welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, municipal recordings. Okay, yeah, so I want to talk to the port, and I'm gonna talk to the school district, and then after again I get those things, because I have ins in both of those, maybe I can get to the city of PA and talk to them as well. So, or not, sorry, school district, PA school district. So, okay, well, that's all there is for programming, which was a lot. And any other questions? Sorry, Maxwell, I can fill you in later if you want to know about all the things that are going on.
Oh. Well, yeah, I'll read the.
Okay,
It was a personal thing.
no worries, no worries. Okay, well, we'll move to social media. I as I said, I've like not really had a lot of time to work on the social media stuff as far as like alerting everybody and pushing stuff out. But I did work with a group that wanted their forum. It was the Olympic Peninsula Activists and Community United. I don't know what their name is, but I didn't know much about them, and they tried to get me to come stream it. And then when they told me that they only had one side, I said no. And then I said, but I'm totally open to you submitting your content to us, as long as, you know, there's nothing really crude or against FCC policies, we'll run it. So they did send me something. I even had to it was bad. I had to just make some minor adjustments just so you could hear it and it made sense in the beginning, telling what it was. And then they didn't have a YouTube presence or anything. So I said, well, we'll put it out on our YouTube. And what do you know? It was up for 24 hours and we got a content strike. That basically means that our channel was locked down for a week because their content was, it was Brian Pruitt. He was on there denying the election. And I'm sure somebody said, no, that's not okay. And they probably complained and YouTube said, yeah, that's not okay. And we got a strike. So I just wanted to let everybody know, going forward, I am probably not going to put any political content on our YouTube channel, just so we don't endanger our channel that way. And to be honest, I might not put any content that isn't developed through Papa. So it might be a new policy that
That's a
we
good
talk
idea.
about. So, but I thought I was doing a favor, and the no good deed goes unpunished, I guess. So
Because it's a huge can of worms, Silas. If you put this person's on, you don't put that person's on. Why didn't you do it? So then now you're in charge of being the community's YouTube.
yeah,
And
and
it's just go ahead.
in this case too, I was trying to give them a chance because the league has their own YouTube and they ran their forums on their YouTube and they didn't need our YouTube. And so I was just trying to offer some distribution and but that was a mistake. So won't do that in the future.
Do we have the league? Sorry, I missed it. Is the league on our channel?
The league has their own YouTube channel and we ran their forums on our TV channel on 21. Yeah, we ran
Good.
basically on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I ran all the debates that they pushed out, which was 3. They're not debates, they're forums. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I ran the whatever they were. It was basically left-leaning candidates on one forum and right-leaning candidates on another forum. So I don't know why I can't all come together and have one forum, but it's just the reality of our political climate now, I guess. So yeah, so that's just a cautionary tale I wanted to share. Maybe someday in the future somebody will see that and realize, okay, good times. That is all I have. There's nothing to really report. A membership, we will talk about. Doug sent out an email proposal about helping with membership, but it was a little bit too nuanced, I think, to be yeah, go ahead. I wanted to talk about with the board first. We don't really have any old business. So 11 and 12 we're moving past, and then so new business. as a nonprofit organization, we probably need to have elections at next meeting in December. And so I'm happy, like I feel like this is pretty minimal work for everyone, hopefully, and I'm happy staying in my position. And if everyone's happy staying in their positions, although now that Darian has resigned, we'll have to talk about what that means. But my goal is not to make this a lot of work. My goal is just to like maintain Papa as a distribution platform for local content and put the onus on people in the community to submit their content to our digital platforms that, well, to our platform that distributes it to local public access. So I don't want to create a community media center right now. My goal, like if that is going to happen, we have to have like more discussion, as we kind of talked in the beginning of the meeting, that there would need to be discussions about what kind of budget we're being allotted from the city, from the franchise fees. And right now we're being allotted just enough to run a content distribution platform through the public access channels. So anyway, I don't, does that make sense to everybody? Do you want to discuss that?
When does that contract come back? Is it 2024? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to go.
I thought it might have
look
been.
it up. So, and two, like that's a big endeavor then for the board to figure out, like, what does that mean? What's the job description? And I think too, as we get more people involved and hopefully maybe we find more connection to the community, like I imagine the work with KSQM is going to, it may stir something in the community about what this all means. And then who knows, maybe that will lead to more people being interested and wanting to be a part of this. I may try to like see if somebody from KSQM wants to be on the board, and stuff like that. So, and also I've been like dropping seeds in the ears at the high schools about like, hey, this is a great opportunity for students to be a part of. If anybody's interested, you all have media programs, although PA seems to be more visual, more video production emphasis than Squim, but I don't know. I want to actually learn more about what's going on there. So yeah, so I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on like how we should handle elections? Is anybody like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be on the board anymore. I'm done.
No, I'm fine with being treasurer unless someone else wants to do it through 2023. But I doubt I'll want to be treasurer past that.
Okay.
I, for one, still feel like I'm getting my legs underneath of me. So, just kind of still getting more of a feel for what we're doing and what we're moving.
And I can take the minutes and handle like what Darian was and wasn't doing. That's easy for me. So like, I don't know that, I mean, I think at some point we should try to find somebody who could be the secretary just to have 4 positions, but we can operate as we are if we want. So, and then I was serious too, Brendan, if you're at all interested in joining the board, please let me know. You don't have to do it in public in front of everybody, but
I mean, I'm happy to stick around unless somebody wants it more. I mean, I just want to be helpful.
Yeah. Well, coming and talking to us and asking questions is super helpful. So thank you. So, okay. Well, let's just then leave it at, we will have an election next meeting, and unless something changes for somebody, let me know, and we'll probably continue as is for another year. And then hopefully we can make strides in figuring out if there's better ways to go for the Peninsula Area Public Access as an organization. So, okay, Doug sent a proposal in. So this is item B in new business. Doug sent a proposal in about membership and helping us develop membership. He feels strongly that's important for the organization. Did anybody see it? Did anybody talk about it? Or sorry, did anybody read it? I can pull it up here real quick. Let me just stop sharing. Doug actually just sent in new content for us, because he's part of the Climate Action Committee or group, or I forget their name. But it was really a very fascinating lecture about, was it weather, earthquakes, something about about Peninsula specifically. It's great. I'm running it, definitely. I think on Thursdays at 4. I actually want to double it up, and it's super informative if you live here. So I really appreciate that he was doing that.
Is that the one about tsunamis?
Was it tsunamis?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Shows what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like they had some like well-renowned professor come in and talk about it, showed all these models and what was going on here.
Right. Yeah, they just had, well, maybe not. Sorry, I'm thinking something different. There was a class recently over at PC that was, but I realized that was volcanoes, not tsunamis. different disaster.
Sorry, I'm just he sent it to me and shit. Crap, I should have gotten this figured out before the meeting. He put it in the email. It was an attachment. So basically, okay, I think I can share this screen. Share. All right, is that what I'm seeing? Are you seeing this email that basically says membership? I'd like to bring up an idea about membership at the meeting. Do you see this? Is that what you're seeing? Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to read it, but I'm just going to summarize that he basically wants to take time to develop look at our database and create some kind of way to get it all collected and together, and then be a part of the email system. And it was the complexity there. I was a little worried about, like, I'd like to keep it simple and not something that we have to like invest in. And maybe I can go back to him and say, hey, can we just stick with like consolidating some spreadsheets? I don't know. I'm just worried about like trying to like, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on? We don't have a lot of members. We have probably 10 to 12. So we never really finally ironed out whether it's an annual, like once a year you pay, or if it's rolling. It's not like we have a membership committee to kind of wrestle with these things. So I don't know. He says it would take him 2 weeks to crunch everything together and have some kind of database built. So
Well,
Any
I'd
thought-
be interested in, continuing that conversation to dive a little bit deeper and talk, pardon me, something got me kind of bad here. To go through and hash some of that out a little bit more. Already, as I'm just kind of trying to go over this real quick, got a couple of ideas that are kind of coming up of ways we can do this pretty easily, as opposed to doing a whole SQL database. They've made a lot of tools that are some free CRM tools, customer resource management tools that would have a lot of this already built out. So it's really just a matter of collecting the data and building the fields. And that's really that, like you say, pretty fast.
Okay.
I'll
Go ahead.
It's like you've brought this up several times in the past, and it is kind of the big question in my mind is, why would you want to be a member of Papa? What do you get out of it? What does one get from it?
Yeah.
Besides supporting your,
It's one thing when you have like a facility and equipment and classes and all these things that go with like a community media center. And maybe down the road, that is something we can do. But I think the biggest benefit would be that we create an email list and we send out a newsletter. But we would have to have somebody that would want to work on that. I'm not at the point where I want to work on that. But there is probably enough happening that we could send out like this is what's happening this week on Papa, and it's a schedule, and maybe we talk about, here's the new content. Here's somebody we've brought into the fold. Go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah, not so much like what do you get out of it, just like a membership of support, like it's a donation for support for the year and stuff like that, I think. And also, I just really quickly wanted to bring up, this is a little bit of a side note, the possibility of gaining an ASCAP license for the station, which will allow you to use like 30,000 different musical songs and stuff without any worry about copyright infringement or strikes like that. So I think it's relatively cheap per year, maybe like $2,000 a year or something like that to maintain one of these licenses. But you get tons of music. You can even have like on the entertainment channel, you can have somebody be a DJ, like, or something, or we could hold some kind of a donation-a-thon and have music playing that is like copyright music, but if we have that license, we'll be able to utilize that music.
So that brings up a really interesting idea too, is that one of the hurdles that we're facing with KSQM is that we have to cut out the breaks where they play a song. And I don't think we qualify on their ASCAP license to play that on our channel. So like potentially if we talk to them about like what would we need to do in order to cover ourselves for the songs that you play on your show. Yeah, that's definitely a really good point. And I will have to say that like people who have been submitting content to us, like the United Progressive, whoever they were, she bought a membership just in support because she was like grateful that we like wanted to like run their content. So and that she's not the first producer. There was somebody else who did that. So from Tasting the Peninsula, or whatever the show is we run. So
you don't need to be a
so,
member
like,
to air content though, right?
what's that? No, I
Yeah.
like I kind of took away that there was never a hard and fast rule, and I felt like we're not getting content from people who nobody wants to be a member, and if we have this barrier to like run your content that you have to be a member, like we're never gonna get anything.
Yeah.
But if we
I
show
think-
people, yeah, like anyway, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, no, I was like, maybe we can lean on KQSM too to help navigate the ASCAP license, but also like people who want to put content out on thing like through Papa, it would that licensor would be covered, putting it out there. So as
Mhm.
that platform distribution, but yeah, no, that's great. Like everything's great.
Yeah, I kind of go right along with what he was saying there. I was curious, a thought that came to mind of, perhaps as part of this partnership that we do with KSQM to maybe operate under their license to be able to play music. If that's some way that we can use that as a negotiation to, during our partnership with them, kind of piggyback on what they've got already to be able to play all the music that they do, and perhaps that opens up not just their music but anything else that you guys are looking to play. But I think that, like you were saying, they're silenced, but I think that it's more important right now to just provide the value add, and as we continue providing the value as it goes now, then we look at later on as we increase that value as to what it is that then we use that as that tier for, this is what members get. But right now, just building out our viewership, building out, the number of participants and focusing there.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Let me get back to our agenda. Anything else? Okay. Moving on. I guess we'll just table this and come back to it. And Anthony, I will email you that email that he sent, just so you have a basis. I think, yeah, I still haven't gotten you a board email. Not that anybody wants to check it, but I can put that on my list too. And finally, item C under new business, Darian, I think I mentioned this earlier. Darian resigned because he didn't feel like he had enough time to give us, and I totally understand. I don't think he's been here for the last 3 meetings. So, okay. Any questions about new business? All right. Community comments, community.
Guys doing a great job, guys, great job.
Okay.
Except for
And
Charlie. I'm just kidding.
Charlie. Okay, and the only thing I have to announce is that I got another call today about Papa, and this guy called and said, "Hey, I produced this documentary about rock and roll in Washington." I don't completely understand my son joining a meeting. He said he's like a technical director. He worked in live TV for many years, and he just made this thing. He put it up on Peg, and he wanted to let us know we could run it. And I watched part of it today. It's awesome. So I'm gonna start running that. But it's cool, like how things just kind of like sprinkle down. So I just want to let you guys know. And I will try to like get a Facebook post explaining what it is and how it's out there. So
Well, I got a question real
yeah.
like, if we need content, what do you guys think about if I reach out to the other community media hubs that I've been involved with and talk to some of the people that make like more exciting stuff and get them to send it to us?
Hey, I'm open to anything that is like kind of congruent with our community, and especially if it's like about Thurston or Pierce
Portland.
or Kitsap or wherever. Like,
Yeah.
I think people would be excited to know a little more about what's going on in the peninsula, So yeah, I would love to anything,
All right.
any connections you can make. Please.
Well, I'll reach out.
Okay. Thank you, Maxwell.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's 7 p.m. I really want to adjourn, so we're in an hour. Thanks everybody for attending. I'm gonna end the recording.
Have a
We're gonna
good
do this
night,
next month?
everyone.
You're gonna do
Take
this
care.
in December?
We are going to do this in December, Maxwell. Oh,
Okay, great.
just to let you know that we are, I'm going to end this recording. Yes.